Good morning. Today is one of those days where you just want to, even I want to start my day laying down and just not moving too much, while at the same time being restorative and stretchy. And we're not going to use a lot of wrist strings, so no chatturangas, no push ups, no flow, but nice and easy. And most of the poses, as I said, we're going to lay down or sit. So this way, it's a lot more restorative and easygoing. So we're going to start by laying down on our backs and actually just lifting the legs up. Just lift them to the sky. They don't have to be all the way straight. Once the dogs let me, I will actually do it as well. Just lift my legs to the sky, and then I'm going to roll my ankles in one direction and the other direction and point and flex however it feels good to you. So I do the circles in one direction, then point, flex, point, and flex, and really distinguish the toes, that you're really slowly flexing and slowly pointing them upward. Keep on doing this. And then I'm going to start with Halasana, plow pose. Now, if that's too much for you, you can bend the knees quite a bit, or you can have your hands on your back, supporting your back, or you can just stay in lifting your legs up towards the sky. Now, to me, I'm feeling really tight in the morning. This is a big, huge stretch, but it helps me really very much. As you can see, I just straighten my legs a little bit more because they're opening up. Make sure you're not looking to the side in this pose and you're breathing. First, I had my toes down. Now I'm pointing them, which is even a deeper stretch. It's almost like a forward fold upside down, and it's really restorative, really nurturing once you get past that tightness and you can relax. Slowly roll down your legs and come into a nice twist. I'm twisting to the left side. You can have your both knees stacked in a 90-degree, or one leg extended and the other on top over. Breathe. Find lots of space and length in your back. And if you pull up your arm a little bit more, then you open up your shoulders more. Let's switch the sides and come into a nice twist to the other side. Breathe and hold the pose. If your breath feels ever restricted, you've gone too far. Back off a little bit. So your breath needs to be able to flow really freely. Now come out of the pose and come into banana pose. So I stack the right foot on top of the left, and I'm going to stretch out my arms on top. And if you look from above, it looks like a banana. So it's a nice lateral stretch, nice deep side stretch. It's important that both of your hips are staying leveled and down on the floor, as well as both of your shoulders. They should not be lifted. Breathe and relax. Now, if you're cramping up or have any kind of pinching, it's way too deep. Then come out of it a little more. Let's go to the other side. Stack the Left leg over the right. You can hold opposite wrists, elbows, or hands, or you can have your hands apart. Find what feels good to you today. Both hips are leveled and on the floor. Both shoulders touch the floor. And breathe. Now slowly come out of the pose and draw in your knees, Apanasana, into your chest. Hug them. But keep your head down and your shoulders relaxed. If your belly is a little bit in the way of breathing, you can open up your knees more. Otherwise, keep the knees together. And I'm swaying a little bit back and forth to relax my lower back. Now straighten up your legs again and let's make big circles again. Just laying on your back, just lifting the legs in the air. Really getting that blood flow. Let's circle in the other direction. And point and flex your toes. Point, flex and point. Hold the point and hold the flex. And then slowly, I'm going to come into Apanasana again. Maybe you're ready now. Maybe you weren't at the first time. So it's Halasana, plow pose. And if you don't feel ready yet, just keep your legs in the air or legs up the wall. You can always place your feet against the wall and just keep them up. You can even have a cushion lifting your hips further up. Otherwise, staying in Halasana and breathing deeply. Now I'm going to support my back and come into shoulder stand. Again, if shoulder stand is not an option for you, legs against the wall is perfect, or just lifting the legs up in the air. And I point and flex here before I find the middle where I'm just holding the pose. And as you can see, I'm not all the way straight because it's not good for my back, for my shoulders. You do as much as you can and what feels good to you. So try to keep your hands as close to the spine as you can. And of course, you want to straighten the legs as much as you can, but always in the means of it being well-being to your body. Keep breathing deeply and let's start rolling out of the pose. Straightening out your legs, and let's come into fish pose. So have your hands underneath your hips supporting you on the elbows. And even though I have a lot of neck issues in my past, this is a pose that I could always do and always did good for me. So you have to see what feels good for you, but this was always good for me. I have to engage my core though, my abs, to make sure that my lower back is protected and supported. Breathe really deeply here. Let the air flow. Come out of the pose. Draw in your knees into your chest. Close your eyes and relax for a moment. Now I'm going to come into happy baby. I'm grabbing my toes here. You can also hold the outside of your foot. opening up your hips. And then I'm going to straighten the right leg. Oh, only do this if this feels good to you. And then I'm straightening out the left leg. And then you can stay in happy baby, grabbing the toes, or I'm placing my hands on the inside of my legs and just straightening both legs. And I'm pointing and flexing the feet. Just point and flex. Point. Just stay here holding the pose. You can always, if it's too much, just come out of the pose and just do child's pose. Happy baby, which I'm going to do here again because my dog was in the way. And I'm going to attempt again to straighten both legs, hands on my calves, and make sure that your tailbone is staying on the floor. If this is too much at any time, come back into happy baby. Like I'm doing right now, coming back into happy baby. Breathing. And then I'm drawing my feet into my chest, which is Bakasana, but upside down. Really opening up my hips here. Breathing, relaxing. So let's come out of this pose and come into a seated position. Take your time. And we're going to come into Dandasana. So sitting up very straight. Feet are straight in front and flex your toes quite a bit. Maybe you can even widen your toes and distinctively stretching them apart. Breathing deeply, engage your core, and now we're going to move forward fold. You can place your hand in the back like I did just now, or you can grab your calves or your toes and just forward fold. Try to relax your shoulders, draw in your belly, and try to relax. It's okay to round your back and just to relax. Look up, come up, and maybe come deeper into the pose by grabbing the entire foot. But you can repeat the same as you did before, whatever felt good to you. And if it's too much, you can always come back into the first version, Dandasana, that we did. I'm going to help my toes to flex more. So I'm helping myself in the forward fold to push a little bit of my toes down. Now let's come into tabletop. You can do this with bent knees or with straight legs like I'm doing right now. But you can always place your entire foot down and bend your knees. Lift your chest up a lot, your hips all the way. And let's slowly come down. Grab your toes again, or whatever forward fold version you would like to do, and forward fold. Another option is placing your hand behind your back and keeping your back really straight is also a nice option. Let's repeat table pose. So lift your hips up a lot. You don't have to let your head drop back. You can always keep the head up as well if it doesn't feel good for your neck. let's come into a forward fold again. Engage your core, draw in your belly here, and make space, make room. Breathe. Come out of the pose. One more time, tabletop. Lift up your hips, lift up your chest. Hold the pose, not the breath, and come out of the pose. Let's come into Baddha Konasana. Feet out, and I actually like to have them like a butterfly flopping up and down. It helps me to loosen up my hips. Before I forward fold, you can stay up on your hands or come onto your elbows, but make sure that your back is straight. It's almost like in a Sphinx pose, you're trying to pull your chest forward and opening up. Now in this time, I'm going further and straightening my arms and coming onto the fingertips and forward fold all the way. If that doesn't feel good to you, stay in the other version. Slowly coming out of this, and in this version, I'm rounding my back and trying to touch my forehead to my toes. Really rounding my back here. Drawing in my belly. Come out of the pose and place your right hand onto the knee, and let's come into a lateral side stretch. Breathing deeply. Now, if this is too much, you can place one foot in front of the other instead of staying in Baddha Konasana. Now I'm looking up and down to loosen up my neck muscles. Make sure to be careful with this. And then I'm twisting to the left side. Nice twist. And then I'm going to come into the lateral stretch again. See if it feels good to you to look down and up, down and up to really loosen up your neck. Come out of the pose entirely. And let's come into a fire log pose. So placing one foot on top of the other, 90-degree angle. If it's too much to you, you can place one foot in front of the other. Doesn't matter on which side you start, just flex your feet and protect your knees. You can stay on your hands or come onto the elbows like I'm doing here. You can also lay down on top and come flat all the way, but I don't think I'm doing this here. This was a better version for me. Let's come out of the pose and let's twist over to the side where you have the knee on top of the other leg. Nice straight back. Really having a lift here. Lots of lifting. Not as much as pushing yourself into the twist, but rather lifting. And let's twist to the other side. Breathing. Come out of the pose and let's switch sides. So either stack one foot on top of the other or one foot in front of the other, and this time you switch the leg that is in front. You can stay on your hands or come onto your elbows or lay down flat. Make sure to be able to relax to be able to breathe deeply. Your breath is always an indication of if it's tight and restricted, you've gone too far. If it's flowing freely, you're good. Come up and twist. So I'm twisting here to my left, really straightening up my back, breathing deeply. Come to the other side and twist the other way. You don't have to look over your shoulder if it's not comfortable for your neck. You can keep your head neutral as well. Just make sure you always lift straight back, engage your core. Come out of the pose. Straighten out your legs and let's come into Shavasana. Now, I have a problem because I have too many dogs laying on my mat, but adjust yourself so you're comfortable. Feet are wide apart, hands are wide apart, and just let go of everything right now. And pray this prayer of gratitude with me. Dear Lord, I thank you for waking me today. You have given me yet another sunrise to enjoy. Thank you for the wonderful sounds of nature, the cool breeze brushing through the trees, making the birds sing beautiful songs. I praise you, Lord, for allowing me to live another beautiful day in your kingdom. Amen. Now it's time to stretch up and out. Stretch your feet, stretch your hands up. Drawing your knees one more time into your chest. Releasing your back. And let's come into the seated position. Into the rolling of your shoulders a few times back. Releasing the neck to one side, looking down. Releasing the neck to the other side, looking down. And I like to do my rolls of the chest. It's cat-cow sitting, but really rolling. And now make the circles bigger so you involve the hips. Let's move to the other side. Little circles of the chest and big circles of the hips. And then big side stretch. Keep both hip bones really on the floor. And to the other side, one more time, stretching out. Getting ready for the day. Come out. And let's breathe in. Big breath in. Exhale. You can even do it through the mouth if you feel like it, to let go of everything. Inhale. Big exhale. Big inhale. Big exhale. Well, God bless you. Thank you for practicing with me.